Once you log into Star Citizen, you get to the main menu here. It'll ask you to create a character down here at the bottom and let you customize your character and ask you to set a home spawn. You choose a planet to set your home spawn. Area 18 has CIG's built-in tutorial, which I've heard mixed reviews on. So once you've selected your home, you'll come up to this. It'll tell you, select your primary residence. Mine is set to Orison. Ask you where you want to choose your server from. Best is usually the best. It's whatever the lowest ping and everything else is. And then you will click enter the Star Citizen universe. You won't have a friends list or anything else because, theoretically, you won't have any friends yet. And even if you do, you won't be able to access it till after you enter the game for the first time. So you'll have your global chat here in the left corner of the screen. That's everybody in the server. To be able to talk into that, you hit enter and you can type your message. We'll just say hello, and you'll be able to see everybody else in the server respond to that. If you're in a party or have another vehicle, you'll be able to hit enter to open up the global chat window and then tab to change the channels. To close it again, just hit enter. And if you want to get rid of it entirely because it's annoying, there's two ways you can do that. You can get rid of all text chats by hitting F12 and get rid of that entirely. F12 to bring it back. You can open your mobiGlass, which will be doing a lot for everything, which is F1. F1 opens up your mobiGlass, tells you how much money you have, if you have a crime stat, the condition of your player, the external atmosphere, what it's comprised of to see if it's toxic or deadly, and the atmospheric pressure, your suit, oxygen, EVA, power, all that stuff. Doesn't really work currently, but suit oxygen does work. EVA fuel and stuff like that is not quite as important. Your missions tracked and your vehicle status if you have a vehicle. Across the bottom here are all your various options in your mobiGlass. So you can see the comm link, which will bring you to that global chat and party chat. So here is, you can see a longer backup of what the global chat has been saying. If you have a friends list or an alternate party like I do, if you're your current party, you'll be able to click on that and see on the right side here who is part of that chat. Right there, Violet Soul sent me a invitation. So now I have my party chat right here, so I can see the party chat and the members of the party here. And you can send friend requests to people in the party who you are not currently friends with. You can invite them to another channel, etc., etc. You have your friends list here, which will show, the first thing will be the landing services and the global communications of your server and the landing services of your location, the global comms, and then your entire friends list. So you can party up and send information that way. If you have a pending request, like somebody sent you a friend request and you missed the bar on top of the screen telling you what's going on, those will be in pending and you can accept or decline from there. Back to the channels here. So the global chat, you can hit the gear here and you can change what color it will show up on your HUD. And you can also, where it says send to visor chat, you can disable that. So you can turn off the global chat, but still allow the party text to come through. Same thing with the party text. If you want to get rid of the party text for some reason, you can also disable it from your visor or enable it back to your visor, etc., etc. Moving on to the next part of your mobiGlass, you're going to have your vehicle loadout manager, which this will cover more in depth later. It allows you to change weapons and equipment on your ships. Knickknacks is fun. That is useful for keeping track of all your various gear and loot throughout the system. So you'll have different places you'll store your stuff on space stations or on planetary cities and whatever else. If you store it in the local inventory, it'll show up on here. So Crusader is my home, so most of my stuff is there. And then it breaks it down by planet and space station. So Port Olisar, Orison, Yela, all these are, Port Olisar is a space station. Orison is the main city. Yella, Daymar, and Selen are the moons. So we could click on like Yella. So it looks like I have stuff stored in Grimhex and stuff stored at Arcorp Mining Area 157. So it tells you then where in Yella or on Yella is the stuff, and then you can say, okay, Arcorp Mining Area. Let's see what I have there. Okay, I've got some drinks and snacks and tools, and there's a few pages of stuff. So if you're looking for something, you're trying to remember where did I leave that gun or that armor set or whatever, knickknacks is going to be your key. Moving on to the next one is Skyline. This one you'll use a lot. This is a map of the entire system. So it is buggy, but here it is. You can see my party members over here, which is nice and also can be a pain because it'll overlap some of the other stuff. So you can see we are over here on Crusader. So here's Crusader, the primary planet. If you click the planet, it shows you the navigational points. Orison is a gas giant. There's only one city on it right now, so the only navigatable points on it is Orison the city, Port Olisar the space station, and the comm array, which we'll go over later. And then you can zoom back out, and if you're like, oh, you need to go to Microtech or whatever, you can double click on that. You can double click on the planet. When you're in a ship, it'll allow you to set the route. It will give you distances and stuff like that. Again, we'll go into that with more detail later. After Skyline is your MO Trader. This is your in-game Venmo. So if you want to pay somebody for something, in-game trading, whatever, you do that through here. Begin, pick a friend. It starts with your party members, goes to your friends list. You can type somebody's name out if it's somebody who's not a friend of yours. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So then once you get past the MO Trader, we go to Contracts Manager. This is where you're going to pick up all your jobs, all your work. Anything that's an in-game mission is going to be picked up through here. If you're a lawful player, one of the best things to do is anytime you start the game, take your call to arms, accept that mission, and then untrack it. And what call to arms does is it pays you for every bad guy that you kill. So small ships or first-person shooter enemies are $500 a piece. Larger ships are more and more valuable as you go to bigger and bigger ships. So then you have your general tab, which is these are your lawful missions that you can select in all their different varieties. Your personal missions, these are a combination of lawful and illegal missions. So it'll take some while to kind of get used to what is and isn't legal over on the personal tab. Most anything that's from an unknown is going to be illegal. Stuff like this one, they're looking for a private investigator to look into something. That's generally pretty legal, but you'll see, you're gonna make a package disappear. That sounds sketch. It's probably sketch. Risky Anvil Valkyrie salvage job, all these risky salvage jobs, they're pretty sketch. So those are almost always illegal. Vaughn, a lot of these, the ones that aren't illegal are like wanted by Arcorp. So that's a bounty posted by a specific planetary system. So wanted by Arcorp is a legal mission. Public enemy declared from Crusader Security, it's legal. So you kind of use your best judgment and you'll find out pretty quickly what is a legal or illegal mission. Your accepted tab over here, the next one over, if it's going to let me do it. Let me close my mobiGlas and reopen it. Sometimes it has issues. Okay, so my mobiGlas is not wanting to cooperate right now. Anyways, accepted missions quite simply shows the missions that you've accepted. And like your active missions. So like if I click that one right now and it would let me click it, you would see the call to arms sitting on there. History just shows all the missions that you've done previously. And then beacons are for players. Will put out beacons if they are injured or incapacitated. Or need their ship blew up and they need a ride from A to B. That'll come up under your beacons tab. It'll tell you who they are, what their 1 through 5 star rating is, and where they're trying to go if it's a transport, or where they are incapacitated if they're downed. Moving on from the contracts manager, if it lets me, which it looks like my mobiGlas is broken, so that's another thing. Star Citizen can be buggy like that. So, oh, I think we might be experiencing a 30K. Let's see. So a way to check for a 30K is do that R display info 1. Close that. Yep. So the B win is at 0.00, which means the server has crashed. So there we go. Now we are back in the game. So let's get back into it. Let's see where we left off. All right. Back into the mobiGlas. So we were in the contracts manager. So again, first thing when you spawn in, best thing is go to mercenary tab, go to call to arms, accept it. It will take you directly to your accepted missions tab when you accept the mission. Sometimes it can be slow on the uptake. Anyways, so as that loads in, the whole game's trying to render right now. So history, they'll still show you, I've taken 22. There it goes. So there, the contract accepted. So my history, all my missions I've taken since the last wipe. Accepted call to arms, untrack because there's no reason to track it. And that way, when you accept your next mission, whatever you actually want to do, it will become your tracked mission automatically. So then there's a history. And then there's the service beacons. There's no service beacons right now, but if you need to create one for your own, there's that. Next one is the vehicle maintenance and service. So when you're in a ship that needs fuel, missiles, bullets, whatever, a repair, when you're on the pad, you open this up, and then you can refuel, restock, and repair from here. The journal, if you get any kind of a crime stat or something like that, it will let you know, this is like the history of everything that's popped across your screen. So like the commodity prices change. So this is where you can click and say, okay, if you're doing trading, this is going to tell you who's selling what for what price, who is overstocked on something, who's understocked on something. So like if you wanted to right now, if you want to transport, processed foods, all these places are overstocked, so they're selling for cheaper. The Gillette Family Farms, Shady Glen, Bud's Grow, Reboundable Harvest, whatever. They're all overstocked, so they're selling it for $1.2 per unit, basically. And then the places that are understocked are paying 1.5, 1.56 for that. So that's your profit margins, So yeah, if you're doing trading, this lets you know what's changed and how much it's changed by. There's also some other websites that we can go over on a separate video that will tell you what's up with that, or what the best trading routes from here to where to what your ship is, how much you can carry, yada yada. Oop, I had one more thing in there. Sorry, I forgot. And then the last thing on the mobiGlas here is your Delphi. This shows your reputation level with all the various organizations throughout the game. So, Blackjack Security, which is in Area 18. I've done a few missions for them. I have a little bit of good rep with them. Crusader Security, I've done more missions with them, so I have good rep with them. So bounty hunting would be your ship-to-ship combat. Anything that's under the bounty hunting tab in the Crusader area, posted by Crusader Security, gives you rep towards Crusader bounty hunting. The more rep you have, the better, the more expensive and harder contracts you get to take. Same with security. Anything that's under the usually under the mercenary tab. The security tabs are usually bunker missions, which we'll go over those again later or another video, another part of the video. So there's all of that. So now that we've kind of touched base, let me turn off my global chat again because I find it annoying. So I'm going to go to the gear. I'm going to turn it off from visor. I'm going to check my party chat, and I'm going to change it to orange because I like that for me personally. And what is going on there? Anyways, we'll take a look at that later. Turn that off for now. So now you've woken up your Hab. I've shown you around the Moby Glass. Hold F to use your cursor to select things. Your usual WASD movement and mouse to look around. F is your interact, which brings this up. You can also use your mouse roller to zoom in on stuff or scroll if there's something to scroll. Perfect. Thank you, Casper. So we used F. We clicked to summon the elevator. This is Crusader Orison, so this is where I live. So it shows you're on floor 6. Basically, you want to go to the lobby because that's the way out. If you needed to go to a different floor, which in a habitation, like in the apartments, basically, you don't need to. But anyway, so when you scroll up, you will zoom in, which is kind of annoying. When you scroll down, you'll zoom out. But basically, lobby. And we wait to get down to the ground floor. And boom, we are now in the lobby. So now, specifically for Orison, you can walk out the front doors, or you can turn left here. And basically, a lot of the stuff in Star Citizen is like real life. Follow the signs. Exit. So we follow the sign to the exit. We go out the door. And here we are. So yeah, W, A, S, and D to move around. If you're running or walking forward, you can hit Shift to sprint, Control to crouch, X to lay down, spacebar to jump, and yeah, and then very much like real life, if you go over to a map, the map will tell you. Let's see, where is it? Where's the UR here? It may not actually even have the UR here, which is interesting. They should add that. Email them right now. But basically, we are at the Cloudview Center because we just came out of the Green Circle habitation. So we can see that the Cloudview Center is here, and we want to go to the August Dunlow spaceport. So, and it shows all the different various train routes that take you to different places. And then if you go up to them, they tell you this tram is going to August Dunlow Spaceport. The other trams over there's Providence Platform, and the other one over that way. It goes to the Independence, I believe. And you look up, it says shuttle is arriving in 30 seconds. So we basically just wait here for the shuttle to arrive and take us to the spaceport so we can get our ship out. F4 brings you to a close third-person camera. F4 again brings you to a wider third-person camera. Here we are. We walk off. And now that we've walked off, you can see that the other bus stops, basically, that one goes to the Vision Center. And this one directly across from us goes to the Cloudview Center. Turn to our right, and we have a bank of elevators, which will take us from the shuttle station to the spaceport. So again, F, click, elevator is called. We wait for it to come. Hop on in here. And we are at the shuttle station. We want to go to the spaceport. So select the spaceport. And again, you can look around. We took a right because it's the only way to go. And we walk through basically what is the customs port. Doesn't really do much at the moment. These are fines and citation payment terminals, which are pretty much near the starport of any place you go to. So if you have, a parking violation or arm assist violation, whatever, any fine or fee that's not going to send you to jail, you can pay it off there instead of going to jail. Or if you're too broke, you can just send yourself to jail. You'll get a discount on your time in jail. So we come up here. We've got the general store. You can buy plushies, you can buy sodas and protein bars and whatever else to your heart's desire. There's also a burger joint over there. You can buy a cheeseburger. And then there's another restaurant over there. You can buy some food. And we're going to walk over here to the ASOP terminals. ASOP. ASOP. F. Touch to start. Now, if this is your first time loading into the game, whatever your pledge ship is will be here, and it will say deliver. And when you hit deliver, it'll then turn to retrieve. You'll then be able to retrieve it. Let's see. Let me get one of my starter ships over here for a minute. So we'll wait 1 minute for that ship to arrive. So while we're waiting on that, I can kind of explain more on the ASOP terminals. So they will tell you where your ship is and what condition it's in. So this is stored at Grimhex. This is the type of ship it is. This is how much cargo space it has, and this is the the crew to fully staff it, basically. So this one is destroyed. It's a medical ship. It's a one-person ship. Anvil Valkyrie is stored at Grimhex. It's a drop ship. It has 30 SCUs of cargo and only requires the pilot. A2 Harkley's Starlifter is stored at Grimhex. It's a bomber. It has 216 cargo and can crew 8 people. Now, again, like every ship in the game right now, you can fly with one person. But if you want to take all of the firepower of your turrets and everything else, you need more people to play with. So, you get the idea. And then the claim means, like, destroyed, so I'm going to have to insurance claim it and bring it to wherever I want it to be and pay the fee and wait the time. A stored ship, if I go to the location that it's stored at, I can just retrieve it. If I want it to come to where I'm at without having to go get it, you can also do an insurance claim on it, pay the fee, wait the time, and then it will be where you're at instead of having to fly over there and bring it back. So that's that. Drake Cutter is stored at Orison. It's a starter ship. That's why I wanted to bring that one out, because it's a starter ship. It has 4 SCU of cargo. Takes one person to fly. So we're going to click retrieve. It's going to tell us it's in Hangar 7. You close the window. Walk to any one of these elevators, because the elevators aren't actually tied to a bank like a normal elevator. Walk into the elevator and click Hangar 7. Hello, Violet. So we're going to go into Hangar 7, and we're going to walk out here, and boom, there's our ship. So every ship's a little bit different. It has you get in, but basically you look for the door, the ramp, whatever it is, depending on your ship, and you open it. Don't get crushed by it. You walk in, and then you find your way to the cockpit in whatever form that may take. So we walk over here, we get to the door, boom, we're in the cockpit. So now you look at the pilot seat and enter pilot seat with the F and select, or F and click. Now you are in your ship. Now with mouse and keyboard, the easy way to ready your ship for flight is to hit U. That will turn on all power in your ship, turn on the engines, everything's on. You'll get all the boot up animations and the announcements. Then to leave the hangar, there's 2 ways you can do it, or there's actually 3 ways you can do it. So you can use F to look down at your screens. If you have a ship that has an extra screen for communications, it'll be up already. If not, you can change one of your screens to communications. So you would go to, let's use this one for ease. Click on the menu. Click on communications. And then it says Orison Landing Services. And you can click that little Wi-Fi button, and that will call the hangar and tell them to open the door for you. The other option is you can use your F1 to open your mobiGlas. You can click on your comm link. You can click on your friends. And then again, you'll see Orison landing services right here. And then you can click this little arrow, which will call them and tell them to open the hangar for you. The third option is you can actually hit left Alt N, and it will do the same thing. Now, taking off and flying with the mouse and keyboard, spacebar is vertical, control is vertical down. W, A, S, and D is your forward, sideways, backwards. And then Q and E are roll in their respective directions. So and then you also again can F4 to third person. I should have closed that back door. Now I have joysticks and I have an extra button key bounds to closing that door, so I can do that. So now spacebar to lift up. N is your landing gear, so hit N November to close your landing gear. And then W to fly forward. Again, we're going to go back into first person because when you're flying with mouse and keyboard, you need to be in first person. So now you can see that you have this like rubber band coming out from your center reticle when you move your mouse. That's going to be your pitch and yaw. So that's how you can control the flight of your ship. Again, W is thrusters. D and A and D are side to side strafing. S is reverse thrusters. And then Q and E do roll. And shift, just like sprinting, is your boost. Now, if you notice, there's this little red box over here. This is your throttle, your velocity. So we're moving, meters per second. This little red box is a speed limiter, basically, and that is controlled by your mouse wheel. So you can roll that up and roll that down. Now, when it's in green, that means that's your I think I call it SCM speed, which is basically your maximum maneuverability speed. So that's the fastest you can go and still be relatively maneuverable and not have to like take a million years to brake or stop or anything like that. And then you roll up to go faster so you can get to your maximum velocity. C is cruise control. So if you look down, it's got that little symbol right there. And the cruise control sets to whatever that throttle limit is. So if I roll that throttle limit back down, it will set to whatever that speed is. So again, that is C, Charlie, to turn on and off on your keyboard. And then basically what we can do is every planet has a 10,000 meter ceiling. So we need to so we started at 80,000 meters if you look on your right to the altimeter, because we're in a gas giant and those are floating platforms. So we need to get up to 90,000 meters to be able to quantum warp out of the system or to the next area that we're going to go to. So I'm going to go ahead and boost us up and get up to that area as fast as we can. And then as you see the boost meter going down, if you stop boosting before it goes in the red, it recharges significantly faster. If you go into the red, it takes longer to recharge and you won't be able to boost until the meter fills up again past the red. And then you can also see your pitch at the center there. So it tells you 70, 80, 90 degrees. So basically if you're at 90 degrees, you're going straight up and down. So we're boosting and we're 89 and now 90 meters or 90,000 meters above. So now we can go into our star map, which is you can either do F1 and click over to Skyline, or you can use F2 to take you directly to it. And then you can select your destination. So we can look up. And I want to go to Port Olisar, Now I have some party members there, so it can be tricky to actually select Port Olisar, but I can quantum to that party member. So you would select Port Olisar up here at the top, go to set route. It tells you, yeah, so it says I'm going to warp to Port Olisar, then to my party member. This is how much quantum fuel I have, 6,000 units, and it's going to require 0.01 to get there because it's like a few clicks away. So once you hit set route, you can F1 to close out of your mobiGlas. And now you can see it's got just that marker for your quantum jump. B will open up your quantum drive and start it calibrating and spooling. And basically you just face the marker until it is completely calibrated and then completely spooled. Now it says calibration is ready and spooling is complete. Then you will push and hold B again to activate the quantum drive. It will drop you right back out. And then to basically get that quantum system off your screen, you hit B again to turn it off. And then before, oh, we are, okay, so yeah, and then now you have left click is your main guns. If you had a secondary set of guns on your ship, it would be right click. And T is for targeting. So if you're going to target an enemy or an ally, so like I can target provolone right there, targeting, you know, and you can look at your targeting screen if you have one pulled up, and it will tell you the player's name or the AI's name if it's AI, how far away they are, what ship they're flying, the shields, and the hull status. So the shields will get smaller and then disappear when they are down, and the hull status will turn red when they are damaged. And then basically you are pretty much ready to start your life as a spaceman. The only other thing I can give you is it's basically the reverse process to land anywhere you want to land. Is you get close to it, you'll get a message saying please contact ATC to land. It'll come across the top of your screen, which we'll do real quick here. Oh, and then Alt T is how you left Alt T is how you untarget something. All right, so now that we're close to the station, we're gonna do, like, again, you can look into your, you can look down here and open, so this one I'll have to roll down to the bottom of, Port Olisar Landing Services, and you can click that to talk to them. You can go into your mobiGlas and talk to them that way, or left Alt N, and then they're going to assign us a landing bay. So if we wait, it'll give us a pip and show us where to go land right there. So you can see this little circle, and then it's also outlined in green. All right, so now we can fly over there. And then we need to put our landing gear back down, which is N by itself. So boom, there's landing gear. I like to land in third person. It helps me land better. Auto landing does work now. So if you get pretty close to the pad, ooh, yeah, so I got too much juice on that one. Get close to the pad, and then you can actually hold N for a second, and it will actually take over the ship and auto land it to the pad that you're on. Boom, once you're landed. Rule of thumb about landing, no matter where you're landing or what you're doing, always turn the engines off at the very least. So you can turn the whole system off by hitting U to turn everything off. Or if you're planning on taking off again and you don't want to have to recharge your shields, your weapons, whatever else, you can just hit I to turn off just the engines. And you'll notice that the hydrogen and quantum fuel bars turned red because the engines are turned off now. So now that our engines are off, we hold Y to get out of the pilot seat. And now we are out of the pilot seat. And we can go about our business at the space station or wherever it is that we are landed. And basically, that's getting you started in the game. Other than that, you select missions, you take missions. You can always get on Spectrum and find somebody who's willing to train you. You can always ask in global chat if anybody wants to help you out as a new player. For the most part, the community is very friendly. We do have our yahoos, but more often than not, you can find somebody who's willing to help you out and show you the ropes. Join an org, join a group, ask a buddy. Most people don't get into this game by themselves, so whoever talked you into it, make them teach you how to play, or have them help you find somebody to teach you how to play. And so with that, the tutorial portion of this video is over.